Hey crafty friends, welcome. Today is Makers with Heart. I'm Amanda with Crafting with Amanda, and I'm going to take these photos with some of my stash busting or stash papers, I should say, and I'm going to gather those, and then my new Skylark stencil came, so I'm going to incorporate that to create this layout. And these are photos from when our son was born he was born in May of 2009, but this is from the shower the church gave us. And these are some of the last photos I have from this shower. And as you can see, I have my folder with my marker, and I have these indicating that there was more memorabilia that goes along with these photos. Oh, I love baby hair. Just give me a minute to be sentimental. All right, back to work. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm starting with, I had pulled out this packet of paper, and it ended up being a collection of various papers. Some of it was the Celebrate Today collection. Some of it was the, I can't think of what that pink color of the year was from Close to My Heart, but it was from that collection. And then this in Dreammaker I'm pulling out, and the oranges work with that Celebrate Today paper, but not with my photos. So I'm going to put that back aside. And then this was, I think it was a Constant Campaign or a special paper pack for Valentine's Day. And originally I thought maybe I would use part of this for some journaling on the page, but I know I have other photos or other layouts that have journaling on it already. So I'm not sure I'm even going to do journaling for this. And then this is a throwback paper. I think it was called Hooligans or Monsters, Mini Monsters. And I'm trying to pull in a purple that might work with the photo of the cake, but also work with all the other papers. So I think I'm good. I found these papers. I love this one that I just put the cake photo on. So I'm kind of in my mind forming where I'm going to go with this. So while I let that kind of marinate, I'm going to go ahead and mat my photos. And so I've laid out my two Versamats just to kind of give me a base. I'm a very visual person. And then you saw I was playing with my Skylark stencil there. So I'm just trying to decide how I want to do these layouts. Now, normally with 4 photos, I would go ahead and get them on a single page just because I have so many pages done and it's a lot of, I don't want to say bulk, but I'm trying to be a little more conservative in how many scrapbooks I am creating. So what I thought is I would take this paper that I love with the rainbow splatters around it and have half on the left page and half on the right page, and that's going to work for me. So I'm like I said, I'm such a visual learner that I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm going to cut this paper not quite in half. I want one side to be a little bit bigger than the other side. So I've done that here. And then I realized I needed something to bridge the gap between the two. Also, the list of the people that were in attendance and the gifts that they graciously gave us, I want to include kind of as a hidden tag behind the photo. So then here I'm thinking, okay, I use this floral paper as kind of my jumping off point to find all the other papers. So I thought maybe I could use it as my banner to go across, and I wasn't feeling it. The polka dot worked on the blue side, but it didn't work with the reds, pinks, and yellows. Then I found the heart zip strip. And to me, there's black splatters on the background paper. So I'm like, okay, this works. But it was too stark against the white edge. So again, 180 degrees, we're filling it in, and I have a plan. Now, off camera, or I cut it out, I was crossing my fingers that I had a second zip strip, and I did. So now I've glued that paper down to my white base, and I'm getting out my old chunky textured paste. And I don't make you watch me recondition all of it, but if you have textured paste that is chunky like mine, all you need to do is to add some regular water to it and mash it some more, and then mash it again. And I got in a hurry and I was trying to go ahead and put it on my layout. And my idea here is I'm doing a stencil with texture paste across the papers and across to the other layout from starting with white and then doing a gradual ombre effect into a medium gray, and then I'll fade back out over into the blues on the right hand page. So I should have mixed this longer. I am fighting with the bumps or the dried bits in my textured paste, but it's okay, we get there. But now once I've added color, I really had to pull out my Cricut spatula, you can see there on the tray, and mash all those down, or else I was going to have white lumps in my gray textured paste. Now I did both of these textured stenciling on both the left and the right paper separately, because obviously you have to clean in between. And on this left page, I wish I would have done a bigger section of white texture paste, gone with a lighter second color of gray, and gotten to my darker gray later, because I feel here there isn't enough transition between the white and the medium gray tones going into the darker that I want. So just learn from me, it's better to go lighter at first and then add more color to it if you want. It turns out fine. I think it's great. We worked with it, but I think if I were to do this again, I would want to hold back on how much of the pewter re-inker I add to my texture paste. And also, I don't want my ombre to be like straight lines across the paper. I'm trying to actually camouflage some of that. So you can see that I make sure when I'm doing my stenciling to keep a ragged edge, as they say. And here I knew that I was starting with a darker color and I was going to need more going into the second page. So I added some more from my jar and just mixed it up. And this way I know that I will have some of my darkest shade of gray texture paste that's already mixed for the second page. So it was just kind of interesting. It's been a while since I've scrapbooked or crafted at all. And then even longer since I've played with my texture pastes. And I had fun. I was stressed out over it, and I totally understand how other people get stressed and, oh, I can't do stencils this way, but you can. Just give yourself some grace and have some fun with it. My favorite part of doing this is the reveal. So I am going to show you my reveal, and I love this. Like I said, I think I would have liked the grays that are over top of the color paper to be a little lighter, but I think it's great. So here I'm going to go ahead and mimic what's on the pattern paper and do some splatters with the shimmer brush. And I'm just trying to squeeze it enough to get some started, because it allows you to have bigger blops of ink or of the shimmer brush. And so it's just kind of emulating what was already done on the pattern paper. It's hard to see with everything going on, but I tell you they're there and they really do add to the overall effect. And here I got better with the lighter grays. I think you can see that. But like I said, my favorite part is the reveal, so I wanted to show that. So I did extend my white texture paste, but not too far that I think they're out of balance. So I added my shimmer blush drops to that right page, and then while those were drying, I went to the Cricut and cut out just a whole bunch of different, I think 4 different size hearts out of all of the papers that I wanted. And then I also used my die cutting machine and cut out some of those filigree leaves. And all of this is stash busting. The filigree leaves came from a thin cut from, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, one of my favorites. I use it all the time, especially in my heritage albums, but I think it works really well with the stenciling effect I'm going for. And I will say that at first I was disappointed with all of the green tones that came out of the pewter re-inker when it dried, but I'm okay with it, especially since there's green on the tablecloths at the shower in the photo and also on the cake. So that was kind of a happy accident, I will call it. But you might want to, you know how they say, do a test patch first. Yeah, anytime you're using re-inker and textured paste, you might want to do a test patch first. So here I'm just auditioning where I want to put some of my embellishment clusters. I know that I need a title, but as part of my process, sometimes the title comes to me right away. Sometimes it's one of the last things. Sometimes it's the first thing, and then I kind of do all of the embellishments around the theme of the title. But in this case, I kept thinking about my title and kept thinking about my title, and I couldn't figure it out. And, you know, I couldn't be the generic, you know, shower or welcome Nate, because that's already on the cake. And so I'm still thinking about it, but I've placed all of the embellishments here. I'm really happy with those. My title became Craft Time, and it was getting lost in the stenciling. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on white tags, because I think I said in the beginning that the paper with all of the gifts that were given, I'm going to make a tag pocket and slip it in behind a photo. And so by having tags under the title and then the tag that I'll use for that pocket, I think it'll be perfect. So I'm going to finish gluing down all of the letters. I used a bit of that pattern paper as my ribbon on my tags, so that kind of gives it some continuity. I'm trying to balance the colors between left and right and also have some continuity. Blue is my anchoring color. Again, going into my stash, I have these blue enamel dots, gems, stars, and I'm going to use the hearts because that's just how I'm going to decorate or theme this layout. And I don't know if you saw it, but I did run my tags through an embossing folder that had hearts on it, and so it gave it a little more interest there. And this is how I make my pocket for the paper with all of the attendees and the gifts on it. And I just use my reverse tweezers to hold that together. So I've glued all of the hearts down and the leaves, and you can see my splatters over top of the stenciling. I have my last edge to glue down here and hold. And then I have one extra heart that's just been sitting on my desk that I didn't use in one of my clusters. So I thought, perfect, I will put that on the tag. And again, the colors just work beautifully with the pattern paper that I used as my base. So this is about it. I have one more heart on my sheet, and I'm not going to leave it there as a lone soldier, so I needed to find a place to put that. And then my tag is dry, so I had put foam tape behind the photo here on the right, and my tag just slips right in behind that. So that's it. Be sure to check out what all the other gals did with their stash busting projects this month. I know that Mel, our new gal, was yesterday, and Katie will be tomorrow. So have a great day. All the links below the video description will have links to their papers and their videos, along with a playlist and any products that I use or tools that I love. Have a great day. Blessings.